Being in a lower division, your budgets aren't always huge, but I'm here to show you exactly how you can make your budget go a long way and bring in some world-class, good players in the lower divisions of English football. We've simulated through just about all of the transfer window, and boys and girls, I've made some great transfers, and I'm going to show you exactly how in your lower division saves you can absolutely find some gems. Absolutely, with this tactic you will find some gems. We're at St Albans. This is our second season. Last season we avoided relegation. This year we want promotion. I'm just putting it out there, and I'm going to show you right now how I've managed to bring in some players that could help us do that. But before I do that, smash the like button if you're enjoying this series. Subscribe if you're new around here too, so you don't miss what's going to happen throughout this series. And can we please smash 15 likes to celebrate season number 2, starting right here, right now, in the Tactical Journeyman Save, where today, obviously, we're going over those transfers, but first, I'm going to teach you how I found them. So, there are 3 key dates. You know what, let's go to the calendar. 3 key dates in this whole season of transfers. The first of which is annoying because it doesn't come up. Well, the first of which, anyway, is the transfer window actually opening, and that happens way back last season. The second most important date is, of course, that contract expiry date, which I believe happens around the 31st of, what's the months before? August, July, maybe? Sometime around there, but when your players' contracts will expire, that is when other players' contracts will expire. I'm trying not to spoil the transfers. Oh, this is a new trend. I can't spoil that. Chris Paul. There we go, Chris Paul. So, yeah, the 30th of the 6th, 30th of July, that is when players' contracts are expiring. So that is when you can sign some new players. But I've realised in these lower divisions, I'm spoiling my team again. In these lower divisions, an incredible date comes around the corner. It's when players from big clubs get released. And it's so far ago, I can't find it. But I swear it's sometime later on in this month, the start of August, maybe a week in or so. That's when all the Premier League players. So in each of those points, you need to do this in the lower leagues. I'm telling you right now, you have to do it. Go to transfers. Go to your director of football and go through every single position and get them to suggest the free transfers. Free transfers. Free transfers. Free transfers for every position. It does not matter if you need players in that position. Just check, because out of nowhere, you will find players like this man, who, I mean, I don't desperately need a striker, but a 4-star current ability striker is certainly the one I wouldn't be too upset with. Then start negotiating contract with him. I know that a star striker I'd be willing to pay, I don't know, £500 per week on, have a deal in mind, get the negotiation started, £500. I didn't actually realise he was available for that cheap. I might actually sign this guy. I'm being dead serious. That's quite cheap. If you can come down to about 400, that's probably actually my figure in my mind. Oh, this would be good. Go down to 400. Okay. Now that's not bad at all. I'm quite excited about that now. See, I'm literally showing you in real life right now how you can do it. But I have made transfers actually. So let's go over them. I mean, that's how I did it. You guys can now take that on board. But I did make some huge transfers, and now we can go over them. Most of them actually coming last season, and most of them actually being players coming in. The first player that left was McLean. He was leaving at the end of his contract, so he's gone. Sundry's also gone. Sundai, also gone. Contract expiry. And that's the only players gone at this current point in time, apart from, I imagine we lost quite a few players to contract expiration. Yeah, we lost Taylor, who I didn't even know we had. Moore, yep, this was a big one actually. He left the club, and he's a big player, but he was earning $1,000, and I could sign 3 players just as good as him for that price, and Noble retired. So those are our key players that have left. The players coming in, yeah, there's a lot of them. There's a huge amount of them, in fact. The first one being Luke Drahier, central midfielder, comes in for £325 per week. And I know this man's good because I've played with him in a Salford save, I think maybe even 2 years in a row. I think he's played in the League One, maybe even the Championship for me. He's a good player. and we have him in the Vanarama South. Cannot complain at all. The next player that we brought in is Phillips. This man I'm not going to talk about for too long because he's not that good. Thought he would be better, not that amazing. CDM, centre back, £130 per week. Less said about that, potentially the better. Next player is potentially one of the best players we picked up. I took a stab in the dark with him. He wouldn't come on trial, so I just had to offer the contract, and I am so happy I did. Mackenzie, and I think I'm saying this right, Strawn. I've got a kid who was in, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to anyway. I've had a kid in my class at one point that had that last name, and it was pronounced Strawn, so I'm going with it. Strawn in at central midfield, comes in from Rangers B, really good pickup. And great stats, 4-star current ability, 19, and he's probably going to end up being a League 2 player. I can't complain about that at all. Next player that came into the club was a centre-back, again from Ireland. Scotland. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get crucified for that. No, he's Northern Irish, so that's why I've gotten confused. But anyway, great centre-back, lots of potential. Think he's a really good one for £140 per week. Strawn was probably a big risk because we are paying him a huge amount of money, $475. But I backed him, and it's ended up being the right call. Goalkeeper option, a young one, 19 years of age. Maybe paying him a bit more than I should, but he's got a lot of potential, so I back him. Bull comes into the club. Next up, this season now, we brought in Tom Hewlett, who initially doesn't look like the best signing, but his stats are really good. 13 finishing, 13 pace, 12 dribbling, 12 first touch, and last year he scored 17 goals in this division. I think it's not a bad pickup at all. A rotation option for us, not bad if I say so myself. Jerome Bingham-Williams has come in as a centre-back option and a potential left-back option as well. Comes in with plenty of experience at this division and even higher in the last couple of seasons. Getting a bit older now at the age of 28, but still plenty of ability in him. £375 per week, a bit, but I do back him either way. Proctor, same situation. Centre-back and left-back, really good player. This one a bit younger, so I'm thinking I might be starting him. Played in the National League last year. Pretty happy with that pickup. Next one, a striker option. This is probably why I don't think that other player we brought in is going to be starting. It's an Italian man, Diego Di Girolamo. I'm really sorry that I'm going to say that wrong. Di Girolamo comes in. He's a great striker. Again, really good stats. And he has played in the North last season, scoring 9 goals. Not incredible, but not bad either. Next, Luigi Gaspar. And this is a player that I brought in from a Premier League side. Not expecting to be able to even get him in on loan, but he's come in from, it's Watford. A Championship side that's still pretty good. Played in the National League last year, played all right. Comes into our team, going to be a nailed-on starter at that CDM spot. Love what he's bringing to the table. And very cheap. Another player that's very cheap and pretty good coming in from a high division side, QPR, is this man, a Jose. £110 per week is such a steal. Maybe not the best stats across the board, but as a rotation player, not bad at all. I'm certainly happy with that. And finally, we brought in another centre-back, Manny Parry. I just think his strength and his height and his tackling and heading and his physicality is going to be absolutely bomb in this division. £210 per week, I think, is a steal. So happy to bring him in from a south side, Welling last season, into us. Welcome, Manny Parry. Those are all of our signings. And we have a stacked team now. And if you were keen looking, Paul looks like he might be leaving. And I'm thinking about getting rid of Duncan too, because I cannot afford to have this many players. I'm paying a lot of wages for players I don't think are going to be playing a whole lot of games. I also released officially... Oh, no, I didn't release Murphy. I thought about it. I didn't. He's not really going to play any games for us, but he's on a non-contract, so, yeah. I mean, it's a good team now, though. Like, look at it. We've got an Italian up top. Jeff is there. Benzel McNulty's still in that spot. Strawn, Drahir, and Gaspar making up a brand new midfield trio. Stanley at right back still. Looking like a good player, that's for sure. Parry at centre-back for the defensive solidity. Then Proctor, we did actually sign Adebowale, for £95 per week, but I don't even know if we need him anymore. Proctor in at left centre-back, then Kinsella still at left-back, who's now our captain, by the way. We've got Bingham-Williams as the left-back, centre-back reserve. We've got Clark as the right-back and centre-mid. reserve, Akinola as the attacking and central midfield reserve, and Neil as a striker reserve, and then of course French in between the sticks with so many great players on the bench. Adebowale, and Murphy and Phillips, who can all play centre back. Phillips who can play CDM. McKinnon, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, centre back CDM as well. Great option for us. Thomas as a non-contract central midfield option. Jose as a central midfield option. Duncan as a central midfield option. Shipley as a wing and striker option. And Hewlett as a striker option. We are stacked, boys and girls. This is a good football side, and it is a side that is predicted to finish in, I think, 6th place. And I think we could go even higher. I mean, we've had a good pre-season as well, winning all of our games against some decent sides too. You know, Peterborough Sports, Vanarama National League North, so in the same division as us, just, you know, we're south, they're north. I think we're going to do well this year. Hungerford coming in from, I want to say, the league below. No, I just didn't notice them last year, but 13th place. This is going to be a big battle in the first game of the season. So now that I've gone over the transfers, now that I've taught you how I got the transfers, you can do it yourself, and we can play our first game, and we can wrap up this episode. Let's jump into it. As I said before, it's a season that I want to get some success from, so let's start playing football. This is the tactic we're going with, exactly the same as last season, because it seemed to work. No real correlation to the gegenpress, so I don't feel like it's cheating at all. I think it's going to work. Plenty of super subs, plenty of great starting players. Jeffers predicted to be the second most likely to be the top goal scorer this year. After 20 goals last season, I'm not surprised. He's wanted by some clubs, but I'll tell you what, it would take a lot for me to get rid of him. Let's jump into it. There are players that need some numbers though. Parry, centre-back, you can have number 16. It's not really a centre-back number, but I'll go with it anyway. Let's jump into the first game of our second season. It's our first ever game as a manager on the first day of the season. So let's hope that it ends up being a successful one. And I think it will be. I really do. I feel good about our transfers. I think all of them have improved our team massively. Our team is so much better than it was last year. But it is quite a big squad now, as I said. So maybe I did sign a couple too many. I think I signed some players and then realised that I could get better players. And then I signed them, and then the players that I signed to be the first team player then became second team players, and it just kept having a spiral effect until we had a stacked team like we do. But you'd rather have too many players than not enough, but equally you would rather have money in the bank account, and we don't currently. Here's Kinsella putting in Proctor into D. I'm never going to learn how to say that, I'm sorry. DG. I don't like abbreviating people's names because it is their name, but I might just call him DG. Di Girolamo. No, I'm going to try it. I feel like it's disrespectful to try and abbreviate people's names. Di Girolamo. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it as well. I'm genuinely trying my best, but I'm sure you can tell I'm not of Italian descent. Although I would love to be. I would absolutely love to be. If I could get some of that pizza dough making gene, oh, that would be brilliant. I've tried so hard in my life. I know this is not the best topic to talk about in the first game of the season. I've tried so hard to be good at making pizza dough base, and I just suck at it. Honestly, I bought a stand mixer. I've tried different bread types, flour types. I can't do it. It always ends up wet because I put the sauce on. It's nil-all, by the way. It's probably not going quite as well as I thought. It's probably because I'm talking about pizza dough right now. But I put the sauce on, and then it makes a wet texture because the sauce is wet and it's going on wet bread. I don't understand it. I think my oven's just not hot enough. They've scored. This is what I get for talking about pizza dough, to be fair. This is not the plan. It's not even really statistically in our favour either. I thought we would dominate this game. I wasn't really stressed about it at all. In fact, it's not even slightly statistically. It's not in our favour at all. Why am I talking about pizza dough? Oh my gosh, panic stations, Rex. So this is not what we want at all. Come on. DG or Lama, not only have you distracted me with your Italianness, now that sounds rude, doesn't it? But with your Italian heritage, you're not playing well, so you're coming off. Luigi Gas, his name's Luigi. Oh my gosh, I love that. Don't make me think about Italian people again, though. Not that I don't love Italian. You know what I'm talking about, boys and girls. Akinola on for Bandel McNulty. Get 2 attacking options up there. I feel like that's the way to go for now. Move on to a positive mentality. I'm suddenly at panic stations. I hope that you guys feel calm at home. I mean, it's not really going to affect it because, it's a pre-recorded thing. It's not live. But still, I'd like some positive vibes from you boys and girls. Akinola into Kinsella. Kinsella puts a good ball into the mixer. Neil, mate, you got to take those chances. You're on the bench right now. You need to prove a point. Show that you're the player that should be starting. I've got 1 sub left. Luigi Gaspar, mate, you are playing horrifically. You are playing pretty bad. Clark's got to come on. And he's not quite suited to playing that CDM role, despite me training him for it. I think that it's kind of his preferred role in terms of what his stats are, in my opinion. But I think this could be a shanking on the first day. We've got to go attacking. We absolutely have to. I might even be cheeky and move Clark up to central midfield. So, no, not like that. Not like that. Like this. Like this. There we go. And then Trahir on attack. Strawn as Mazzala on attack. And Clark as the box-to-box in the central. And just give it a crack. I mean, I kind of got to it at the late stages of this game. I know it's not panic stations. It's the first game of the season. There's a lot of football left to play, but we are getting a highlight. That is what we like to see. Kinsella on it. Marching forward. Finding space. It's not a good pass, but we'll win it back. Proctor does. Comes into Strawn. Into Akinola. Neil, show us why you should be starting. I mean, I stopped because I thought he lost the ball. I don't know how he's kept a hold of it. But I think Neil might be starting the next game. I was wrong to take him off. I was absolutely wrong to take him off. 15 goals last year, I believe. And he's shown that he is definitely good enough. That is it's probably a tactical mare from me. Because I did not focus on the game as much as I should. But we will quietly take that for the first game. Very quietly. Very, very quietly. I'm disappointed because I think we should have won it. But when we go 1-0 down and you're in the 93rd minute and you're, still 1-0 down, you take a draw. You absolutely take a draw. So, you know what? We keep our heads held high. We try and make some transfers off camera. I am literally trying to sign a new striker as we speak, actually. And I have multiple strikers that are potentially better than it. I'm cancelling it. No, don't need it. Let's focus on different positions, Rack. So, Neil, yeah, you got to shout for striker, that's for sure. So, let's get him into the starting 11. That's the links that we need. And let's hope that we bounce back in the next episode. I'm sure that we will. But, I mean, the next episode is literally at... this episode... This episode, I simulate to January. December. I just remembered that. I forgot about that, team. Yeah. So, if you're wondering why there's still 20 minutes left in this episode, it's because I simulate to January. And I forgot about that. We'll see you on the 31st of December. I've just enjoyed the save so much and got distracted playing watching Breaking Bad and playing Football Manager. I've simulated the 6th of January by mistake. And things are going brilliantly. We're currently top of the league. 43 points from 24 games. Should be more because we have gone in a bit of a dip of form. But of course, I'll go over everything that has happened since last time we saw each other. Right now, starting with the games, mate. It's been incredible. We went on a great run to start the season with Neil scoring 3 here and 3 here. And then just kind of quieting down since then. But still a locked-in star player for us. 13 goals, 12 assists. Less consistent than 3 goals. 6 goals in 2 matches. But, he's doing pretty well. He's a starter for us, and I don't feel the need to replace him. Then a huge run of great form. A loss there. Still 2 wins in a row. Couple of losses there. Another big stretch of wins. But then this stretch of losses and draws has been the most interesting because I have found that we've actually been outplayed in them as well. Which is obviously meaning that we're not even, unlucky. The tactic just isn't working. So I'm probably going to start to panic if we don't beat Welling here. But I'm sure I've made some transfers since the last time we saw each other. So let's quickly go over them too. We sold McKinnon on loan. I think that hasn't happened since the last time we saw each other. And he's gone up in terms of rating. So I think he might be a player that I'll think about keeping around next season with his age and potential, so looking very good there. Stanley had to leave the club as we didn't have space for him after bringing in a new right back, which we'll talk about in just a second. So happy to get some money for him. And French has officially left the club by selling him for £3.3 thousand because we brought in a new goalkeeper. I don't think I told you guys about that. I'm actually going to double check when that first game of the season was. So anything past the 12th you guys haven't seen. So that is good for me to know. Yeah, no, you definitely didn't see that. You might not have even seen the Duncan. You might not have even seen the Paul, actually. Paul's gone too. Paul left ages ago for £0, and Duncan left for 4.2, and he just scored against us, which was really annoying. But yeah, no, those are more deals that we did. The 9th. Surely you saw Luigi Gaspar. I'm sure you would have seen Luigi Gaspar. I'm sure I talked about Luigi Gaspar for you guys. Yeah, Perry, I'm pretty sure we talked about too, because I'm pretty certain he played in the first game. Apologies that I have to check all this, but I'm just double checking. Yeah, Perry did start in that first game. Yeah, okay, sweet. I know where we're up to now. They only took me about 30 seconds to work out. But then we did bring in a new goalkeeper. He just kind of came up on our scout report, and he looked so good that I had to sign him because he was only asking for £350 per week. He's already considered a good National League player, and at one point I believe it said he could be Sky Bet Championship quality, which would be incredible. But I think he's not as good as French. He's playing okay, but he concedes a lot of goals. He's only gotten 3 clean sheets, 25 goals conceded. I don't back him that highly, but I back him enough to keep him for now. Because he is, young and he'll get better, and I'd rather keep him and get better with him than, palm him off right now. But Johnson is a centre-back that we brought in. He's been starting a lot of games, but again, not been that insane. I feel like he's been okay. £425. He is the best on paper, but I don't know if he is actually the best. But he's okay, 25, formerly played for Wolves, as you can see in the photo. And last of all, Sam Ling. I think this one, again, looked like a better signing than he's actually turned out to be. I think they've just sort of come in during the dip of form sort of region. So they're not getting high average ratings, but they're playing okay. Their stats are good. I'm sure they'll come right, but yeah, these players are just not quite gelling at the moment. And Ling is starting. Perry and Johnson are starting centre-backs at this current moment in time. We do have Kinsella still starting at left-back, but I think he was, I want to say, out with an injury. So yeah, he's back into the lineup now. Clark has been playing as the ball-winning midfielder and CDM, as he's now 100% fully able to play that. And he's been playing okay. Gets an assist from time to time. Not a bad player at all. Gaspar plays as the advanced playmaker and has been very good in that role. Then we've got Strawn, who's box-to-box the whole time. He's doing okay as well. Not too bad, but not that insanely good. Banzel McNulty, gone for a while with an injury. Come back, scoring goals for fun. 10, 4 assists. Love to see it. Yeah, he's a really good player for us. Hewlett has brought himself into the starting lineup multiple times because he had a debut where I believe he scored a hat-trick. Oh, no, I think he scored a goal on his debut. And then in the cup, I want to say. No, maybe not. I feel like it was a cup where he came on and I kept him in. But anyway, he scored, and so I was like, you know what? Actually, yeah, we'll give you a crack. And he's just been flying since then. So he's really in the conversation for the starting spot. I do still prefer to play Jeffers because he's just really elite as well. But Hewitt definitely gives me a good headache, and even this Di Girolamo is pretty decent as well, so I feel bad that he doesn't get more game time, but I back the other 3 ahead of him, to be honest. So this is kind of what we've been playing the whole time. We've been off camera. It's a pretty decent squad. Josie has managed to find his way into the central midfield, reckoning, pushing for those first team spots, but I back the players in midfield right now. Even though we're not winning games left, right and centre at this current moment in time, I'm hoping that will pick up. And in terms of the transfer window, I don't think I'm going to do a whole lot. Not a whole lot of budget. Not many players I really want to sell. But I mean, who knows what will happen. It's really the league position that we're chuffed with right now. Cannot complain with being top of the table. Hoping that we can get our form back on track. And of course, going to show you the video right now. Well, the episode, the game right now against Welling, who are quite low. So as I said, I will slightly panic if we don't play well against them. But this is my preferred lineup. It's what we're going with. And yeah, we've been lucky with injuries too. I don't think we've picked up very many injuries at all. Certainly not many long-term ones. So we are we're getting the luck of the green right now, and I think our team deserves to be in the higher positions, but I think top spot may be a little bit generous. So I'm hoping we can keep that luck going and keep that the form that we have had in the past going, and let's get rid of this poor form here by scoring early doors. It is Neil. I see he's been a bit inconsistent lately. You know, I feel like a month or two ago, he scores that, and Jeffers with another great chance. Actually, this is a brilliant start to the game for us, but no goal scored from those two brilliant highlights. But yeah, Neil, he's good, but I just kind of, I don't know. I think the form has gone for them a bit, and I think might be in a bit of one of those spirals where it's kind of like Football Manager just deciding my tactic's not going to work. So that is why I'm so hopeful that this game will end up as a win on the positive mentality. No real tactical changes have been made. You know, even though we played averagely with a couple draws and losses in the first couple of games, I backed the tactic, I backed the XG, and it's ended up working out quite well. But right now, as I said, you know, could be just needing to switch it up in some way, and I'm not exactly sure how that is. But right now we are playing better than this side, I would say, as you would expect, us being top spot at home against the 17th place side. And there is Bandel McNulty. He just pops up and he scores the goals. He's really, really solid. He started so horrifically last season for us, but now he just nods them in. He just taps it home, puts the ball through, and he likes a chip, actually. I feel like he scored 2 or 3 chips in my time this season. So yeah, he's a really good player, and I'm more than happy to keep him. In terms of the future of the Journeyman, I bet you guys are really thinking about that right now. We're on episode number 3. You know, like that's when you start thinking we need to be moving clubs. I am thinking about it next season, but they keep giving me more coaching licenses. So like the first one was hard to get because they said no the first time, and then the second time I had to really argue for it, and they did actually give it to me. So I've got my National C. And then I started studying my National B. Again, I had to argue for it. Oh, Bandel McNulty. I'm feeling calm about this game all of a sudden. This is going brilliantly. But I again had to argue. But they gave me my National B, and that took me some time. But then I asked for the National A, and I didn't even have to ask. I pressed the button, and it just started. It's brilliant. So I'm currently training for that. I feel like when I next go for one, and I don't get it accepted, I think I will start thinking about moving. But I feel like at the end of the season, regardless, I'll probably think about moving. I think you've got to get that promotion or that title on your managerial plate, and then go overseas, go somewhere else. Maybe a higher division in England might want me, because I'm not too bad in terms of manager now. You know, a 1-star reputation, studying for A license, but attributes don't look that horrific anymore. I feel like I've got a bit about me, and if I had a title or a promotion in that equation, I think some clubs would really be, you know, interested in having a wee nibble at the old Racto FM. And here's Bandel McNulty for his hat trick. He's done it, mate. He's on fire. I was talking about how Neil, Jeffers, Hewlett were the best players, but Bandel McNulty, he just does it. He just does it on camera. He does it off camera. And again, I've said it about 10 times already. He started so badly, but now he is just such a key player for us. And 3-0 advantage. This was a good video, a good game to accidentally simulate forward to and show you boys and girls, because we are absolutely outclassing them. It is Ling on it. Can he get his first assist for the club? He would have to be looking really long there, but he does play it back to Parry. A safe option. I can't complain about that. Parry puts it long. Jeffers can't win the header. And actually, this could be their highlight now. If we don't manage to get this away, we do manage to cause a poor header. Parry has the chance to move it forward. He doesn't find Jeffers, but Gaspar's running back. I think it's their highlight now. Playing it onto the right wing. They've got a man in the mixer. Are they going to find it? Clark heads it away. At the edge of the box, they still have the ball. Going for a long shot, and it's well over the bar. No one really too concerned about that. Least of all, Kovacevic. Alex. We've got Alex. Alex was not worried about that at all. And with only a couple minutes to go, this first half has gone swimmingly. As we've said multiple times, Bandel McNulty absolutely putting on a show here. And it could get even better for us as Kinsella gets it into Neil. If he scores now, he's going to give me a series. I was going to take him off pretty quickly in the second half, but now I think he's done enough to keep him on. Just scoring that goal keeps him in the starting 11 for a little bit longer. Hewlett's knocking on the door. But Neil, I tell you, he pops up at the right time, in the right place, and he just finishes his dinner. And I told you, he needed a bit of form, and the goalkeeper didn't quite get a strong enough hand to it. That's the luck that you need sometimes in football. And it's the luck that we've got there. Absolutely take that goal. 4-0 in the first half. Yeah, this how do you say it? What's the full name of the team? Well, I don't know. The Well team is certainly not on hot form, but it looks like we might be creating some hot form. Ignore the fact that they hit the crossbar there, boys and girls. Okay, 45 minutes to go. It's brilliant so far. I don't need to make any tactical changes. Jeffers with an assist, Clark with an assist, Strawn with the assist, Gaspar being the quietest of the midfield players. Can he pop up and do something in this highlight? It is him on the ball. Puts a pretty horrific ball in, actually. No, he's making a shout for being brought off at some point very soon. Kinsella tries to get onto the end of that. Thought he would have. But it is now them through. Johnson trying to track back. He's well in on goal. And Alex makes a save. As we said, only 3 clean sheets for that man. Would like to see another one today, especially with our dominance. Gaspar is going to make way. Drahir is going to come on. Not quite being that star player that I thought he would be. But when he comes on, he does make an impact. Not been stunned too many games because, we did end up buying Luigi, Gaspar, and of course Strawn was in the team, and of course I kind of just wanted a CDM that was a ball-winning midfielder. So as soon as we got Clark fully trained in that role, and even when he wasn't fully trained in that role, I was kind of just playing him there because I knew he would play better than Drahir there. I knew he'd play better than moving Luigi Gaspar back down there. So it's been a smart move in the long run. But maybe not the best for Drahir's career, but he can get over it. He'll survive. He makes appearances off the bench quite frequently. Next lowest rated player, Johnson, he's coming off. Proctor's going to get some run to the squad. Very good left back, centre back option as well. Plenty young enough as well at 22 years of age. Potential. Yeah, no, I quite like him as well. He's a good player. Solid rotation option. Does the job whenever he's called upon. So he's another player that's probably feeling a bit hard done by that he's not starting. But Parry and Johnson, I feel like, just have a partnership at the moment that I want to build and turn into a lockdown defensive system. Even though I don't back Johnson too much, I'm giving him the time because his stats suggest he has the best centre-back in our team. And again, they're getting quite unlucky, hitting the woodwork a couple of times. We're getting lucky in terms of the stats, 1.81, but we have seen a lot of highlights and we have had a lot of shots. So I don't think 4-0 is that insanely flattering, but perhaps the chances weren't quite as good as I think they were. But we will bring Hewlett on for the last 7 minutes of this game. A yellow card to Neil. I don't want to cause a red card. That would just be frustrating as. But 3 minutes of additional time go by very quickly. And we'll take a 4-0 win. I feel like that's always the way in Football Manager. You'll smash them in the first half and then absolutely nothing will happen in the second half. But a clean sheet is always good. And that's what we've ended up getting here today. And it's a great one to show on camera. It makes me look good. Hopefully that causes a bit of good form. And hopefully we can make some good transfers, some good performances on camera. And we will be back at the end of the January transfer window. I mean, again, I don't really feel like we're going to make too many January signings. But that's the way I'm doing it. It's the start of February. I'll give you an update. And then, actually, if I'm not making signings, I'm not going to update you there. Because that's just stupid. Because I've just simulated all these games. And then imagine just updating you 3 games. It's just stupid. So if I don't make any signings, because the transfer window stays open for the entire season, I believe. Just until the end. So, yeah, maybe I'll probably just... If I don't make any... No, regardless, actually. I'll come back at the end of... For the Dulwich Hamlet. I thought you were, second place. They were, but okay. Well, anyway, I'll come back at some point around here for a good game for you guys and talk about the transfers that were made because, I feel like simulating that just feels counterproductive. So, for now, as where we're ending this first episode of the new season, as you know, we get through a bunch of it, so I hope you are enjoying it. Smash the like button if you watched to the end, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you all later.